Hi, it's Luke at ThePageisPrinted, and I'm back with another review. So as promised, I pre-recorded these before I went on holiday. So depending on when I've got round to posting them, I could be in the south of France, I could be in the Alps somewhere, or I could be sunning myself in a villa in Italy. Or I could have forgotten to post them, and I'm back home feeling a bit sad. But either way, if you're feeling jealous, good, you should be. And I dare say I'll be posting pictures of the holiday on Instagram. So if you head on over to @LukeVMarlowe and have a look, I'm sure there'll be plenty of holiday pics. But today I wanted to talk about this book. It's called Who I Am, and it's by Charlotte Rampling. I dare say you'll have heard of Charlotte Rampling. She's an acclaimed actress and has been for the last kind of good few decades. She's been in all manner of films, but she's tended to avoid the kind of big Hollywood blockbusters and has done a lot of kind of indie stuff. She's also done some telly. She was in the second series of Broadchurch over here, which wasn't brilliant, but she was really very good in it, and she is a fantastic actress. One thing that's quite interesting about her is she carries an air of mystery, I think, at all times in her roles. So I was intrigued when I heard that she would be publishing a book that was kind of autobiographical, because she's someone I've always wanted to know a little more about. You don't get to know that much more about her in Who I Am, although she does go into detail about some family life, which is fascinating. She's writing this with a French author called Christophe Bataille. I don't know, I can't speak French, but it's spelled Bataille, so I'm sure someone can tell me how to pronounce that. He is quite well known in France for his books, and by all accounts he's a very good author. I've not read any of his stuff. But a lot of the book takes the form of conversations between Rampling and him. And then it's also been translated by William Hobson into English, because it was originally published in French, because Rampling is bilingual and spends a lot of time living in France as well. It's quite a small book. It's very pretty in that it's kind of full of images of Rampling's childhood. And that's fascinating, sort of stories of her sister, her father, but some dark family secrets that get explored in a level of detail, which does make it worth reading. However, if you really want to dig deep into kind of what makes Charlotte Rampling who she is, then perhaps it's not the book for you. I mean, she maintains this mysterious figure in life, and she maintains it in the book as well, even if there are glimpses of, I think, the kind of inner being underneath the armour that Rampling puts on in her roles and perhaps in public. I don't know if it's because of a translation or how it was initially written, but in some of the conversations you do feel that it is a little bit, verging on pretension. But given that these are conversations between a very well-known artist and a very well-known novelist, it could well be that that's just how they're talking to each other, and it's not perhaps coming across the right way to the reader. You never really feel part of the conversation, and I guess that is a slight issue. You always feel like you're observing perhaps through a glass window rather than being in a room with the people involved, which is fine for a book that's kind of this thickness. It's fairly short, and it's just over 100 pages. So I guess that doesn't matter too much. I think if it was any longer, you would perhaps want a little more depth and a little more involvement, which it is lacking. However, it's a beautiful little book, and if you have any interest in Rampling's work, then I would recommend it. And in truth, the stories about her childhood and her sister are genuinely very interesting, and would be very interesting even if not connected to Rampling. So that is definitely worth reading. It's published by Icon Books. It is a lovely it's a nice book to have on your bookshelf, so I would recommend it for that reason alone. So worth picking up. It is $12.99, and you can get it from all good bookstores or at iconbooks.com. That's it for this one. Thank you for watching. As usual, comment, subscribe, like. check me out on my website, ThePageisPrinted.com, where there is a review of this, a written review as well. On Instagram, I'm at Luke v Marlowe, so feel free to DM me on there. And on Twitter, I am at Luke Victor M, so feel free to tweet me. I dare say I'm now off to enjoy the rest of my holiday, but I hope you have a great week and happy reading.